Welcome back, my friends. Thank you for standing by. Welcome to Contra Hardcore on the Genesis. This is my 6th Contra game, I think. We've done Contra 1 and Super C on the NES. I think I've pretty much mastered those games. We've beaten Operation C on the Game Boy, Contra 3 on the Super NES, and C, the Contra Adventure on the PlayStation 1. And, yeah, I'm trying to clear this one for the first time. Frownie is like Conan and Tulsa Doom, only Frownie refuses to use his sword to cut Tulsa Doom's head off because he mentioned the riddle of steel and considers it a spoiler. I don't even get the reference, but I'd find that funny. Welcome back. Thank you, Cows. Thank you, Loyal. So yeah, I've never made it to the credits in this game. Playing through it, you know, trying to get through it blind. Doing it the hard way, starting from the start every time, and see how it goes. So there are 4 characters, but I started off with this one for whatever reason. And so we're locked into this character because I don't want to experience all the variety of the game in one go. I want to, you know, I basically want to make it to credits experiencing as little of what it has to offer as possible, so that I've got potential for lots of discovery on the repeated playthroughs, which will definitely happen. So Wolfman it is. And there's a couple places where the story seems to have branching paths for different levels, but I'm always making the same choices. So those will have to be explored also after we make it to credits. No, I've never seen any of the Conan movies. I think I have both of them on DVD somewhere. There are 2 of them, right? I've never made the time to watch it. There's a lot of, like... There's a lot of movies that I should watch, but I never make time for movies. Hardly. Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. That sounds right. There's one part of the song, I can hear it, I can imagine it saying the word boogie over and over again. Boogie, 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 boogie. Definitely at least worth watching at least once. They're quite the spectacle. I don't want those. They're just going to make my life worse. So I accidentally discovered that different characters have different weapon options available to them. And sadly, I kind of dislike all of Wolfman's weapon options. They might be decent, but I've yet to figure out how to properly use them, and so I currently dislike them. Yeah, that's a real shame that he's the character I locked myself into. The spread gun here is fine. Of course. You can't go wrong with a spread gun. Most of the time. Spread gun's kind of awful in Contra 3. So, like, see, I imagine here, you know, Rescue the Research Center gives us a completely different level, but that whole leaving stuff to explore means that's not an option for me. That felt real close. I like how much of this, like, turquoise color is in this game. My character's, like, motorcycle and pants and that robot are all this very, very pleasant shade of blue. No! I was trying to jump. When one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong. Ugh, yuck. This game has a lot of cool stuff going for it. I really like its I like its aesthetic and I like its weirdness. It's got a lot of like this is a pretty cool set piece. I like its, you know, I like its set piece heavy nature, and it's lots of bosses that are pretty cool. The things that I don't like about this game are, unfortunately, the camera on the running gun screens is just virtually unacceptable. And the controls are less than stellar at a lot of times. Some of the choices for when inputs read certain ways and the limitations brought on by the Genesis only having the 3 buttons to work with make for some real clunkiness. Time to hit the hay, Frownie, Loyal says. I'll be in lurk mode. Have a great night, everyone. Have a great night, Loyal. I hope you sleep well. Thank you for dropping in. So I don't know how big and complicated the game is, but I have made it up to what I think could be maybe the next to last boss on this story path. This is what I mean about the camera being unacceptable. The camera won't scroll unless you're more than halfway across the screen, and that is just way, way too close to require the player to be to the right-hand side of the screen. That is in no way acceptable. Konami should know better than that. That's something I feel I'll probably never get over when it comes to this game. I will probably be complaining about that every time I play this until the day I die, but if it's not good, it's just not good. I know the foreground is supposed to be debris, but every time I see one of those squares, I think giant sugar cubes? Giant sugar cubes. I need to be on the lookout for those. Oh, I did a bad job there. I entered a new area right as you finally pointed it out. This boss is amazing. I love this boss. I love the constellation part of this boss, the first part. The Tetris part at the end is kind of silly, but the first part's very cool. I think my biggest failing gameplay wise, is that I haven't mastered the use of the slide to any degree. The slide, like you're invulnerable when you're sliding, so like there are lots of opportunities to use it to pass through enemies that I just completely fail at because of either mostly because of timing or just forgetting it's even an option. That's the one big thing that I know of that I could do to improve, and probably pretty dramatically. My first death was bad jumping. My second death, I died because of the way the controller works. Because run and fire and stand in place and fire multiple directions are toggled between with a double button combination. And it's so awkward. So I couldn't duck the second time because that was toggled on. That's what I'm getting at when I talk about their limitations because of the 3-button controller. That, oh. Yeah, so you've got 3 buttons, cows. You got A, B, and C. C jumps, B fires, A changes your weapons. But if you're holding B and currently firing and tap A while you're firing, it will toggle between run and shoot and aim and stand in place and aim different directions. That dual that hitting those both at the same time, it's super clunky. I desperately need shoulder buttons. Hey, welcome in. Welcome in, Master Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. And welcome into Yaden and crew. Thank you for the raid. We'll just hang out here on this dialogue screen a moment while everyone comes in. How goes it? Oh, it's going all right. Tonight is a night of practicing games, not necessarily beating games. I've been working on Battletoads for a lifetime. It pummeled me once again earlier tonight. And now I'm playing Contra Hardcore, which is another game that I have not been able to beat yet. I've got a better chance of beating this one, though. Jen, welcome in. Good to see you again. Thank you for joining us. What were you up to, Yaden? Playing Dead Space. How's that treating you? You finished it. GG. I've yet to play a single one of those games, but I have the original 3. They're just sitting around collecting dust waiting for me. I'd really like to play them someday. Fantastic game. Glad you enjoyed it. I feel like more often than not I'm hearing better things about remakes nowadays than it feels like you used to. I don't like the beginning part of this level. I think that this scenario here is kind of bogus. There's a lot of things I really like about this game, but there's a lot of things that also drive me up the wall. Ooh, look at that waterfall. I don't even think I've ever appreciated exactly what that looks like. No, why am I running? Here's the best character in the game. Right here. It's this guy. Look at him. He's wonderful. He looks like a Goomba from the live-action Mario Brothers movie. It's so great. He's kind of a cross between the two styles of Goomba they have in that movie, because they have the round-head Goombas and the long-face Goombas, and he's somewhere in the middle. Goombasaurus, that's what he is. He's a Goombasaurus. That's it. I will not hear otherwise. Favorite Contra character so far, Cal says. Oh no. Oh, I'm amazed that didn't get me. I forgot how that worked. I forgot the fire crawls across the floor like that. Stay away from me. This is kind of a silly boss. It sort of reminds me of that boss made out of gears from Castlevania. Doesn't really look like it or anything, but it's silly. It's silly like that boss is silly. And these things here remind me of Zelda 2. They look like the things in the desert. Alright, here we go. I did figure out how to beat this boss. I'm not very good at it. But I understand it. Mostly. There's probably stuff I don't know about it, but... This is a bad weapon. This is a bad weapon for this. That's better. Just don't lose it. That other weapon is bad because it hits him so hard, he starts bouncing back and forth, which is what I don't want. No, I want him to stay somewhere in the middle. So I just want to be able to just tap him to keep him there. Happy St. Patty's Day. Oh, is it St. Patty's Day? I knew that was coming up. I didn't remember if that was one of those holidays that always happens on a Saturday or a Sunday or not. I had forgotten. It's the 17th every year. Nobody tell all my Irish ancestors about that mistake. Oh, no. I lost track of the fire button. No, I shouldn't have lost that battle. I was doing so good. The only reason I remember is I have a good friend with a birthday today. Okay, good. I was worried we were going to have to fight that other boss again. I didn't remember. I've been playing this game about once a week. I think I missed it a couple weeks, but I've been playing it about once a week for since early February, late January. I was trying to prioritize finishing games this week. I got 4 games I've started up and haven't finished. And so far I've accomplished 1 of them. Oh, cows, I have bad news for you. Maybe bad news for everyone. That Battleship game we played last night, that had an ending. So I might have to check out Fish Story again. The game disapproves. It killed me. The game killed me because it disapproves. So far, it's the only one without an ending. I don't know if I could leave it like that. I've been working my way. I've got this plug and play. It's called 50 Video Games Included. And it's, they're all what you would expect from a plug and play that you find in a bin at a thrift store for $3. But so far we've played 8 of the 50 games, and I've made it to the ending of 7 of them. But there's one I wasn't able to finish, and I made it like... I played like 20-something levels of it. It's called Fish Story. And I don't know how many levels there are, or if it even has an end, but for like the longest time it was just repeating the same level over and over again, but the number kept going up. So I was like, well, I think the game might be kind of infinite. So maybe it's okay that I can't beat it, and I stopped trying. But the very next game I played seemed like it might go on forever, and it had an ending. So now I'm thinking that I might have to relive that other one again for a while. I'm not even sure why I died. I thought I was on the wall. Alright, this is gonna be close. Getting close enough to this to slide through without damaging yourself by walking into it is just really rough. Thank goodness. Too much health. Too much health on that boss. So the next level is the furthest place that I've made it to. Thank you for the trophies. I liked watching the descent into madness caused by Fish Story, but I don't want to make you go through that again. Well, we wouldn't experience that particular brand of pain since I know now how hopeless the game is. Alright, so this boss here, because that's all this is a boss right here, but it's like it's like an enemy rush. It's like a Coliseum in Hollow Knight or something. I've seen a couple of the enemies that come out, but I really don't have a strong notion of what we're up against. Well, that was easy. Hey Zinshan, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. I'm in the middle of a boss. I'm very happy to have you here, though. Welcome to your friends. Come on in and tell us about your stream, what you were doing tonight, and how it went for you. I would definitely love to hear as soon as I have the ability to read again. Uh-oh. This is a bad scenario. Yeah, I thought I was gonna die. I've never seen that creature before. Just finished a boss myself in Musashi. I think I'm in the last area. What did you just fight? What kind of boss was it? I probably won't know the name, but if you describe it to me. He threw bombs and had a laser. Yeah, I don't know. GG, though. It's been a while since I played that one. I found every boss in that game to be super difficult, though. I struggled with every single one of them. I struggled with everything in that game. I don't want to say too much because I know you played it before, but I don't want to potentially jog your memory and spoil something you'd forgotten about. I need to go back and finish that game myself. I shouldn't leave it. I've left it hanging over my head for so long. I just have to sadly admit the fact that it's a game I don't really like very much myself, though. I really did want to like it, too. I really did want to like it. There's a long puzzle I was struggling with, but the Wind Scroll boss is probably the most challenging for me so far. I've gotten further than I ever had before, so it's all new for me. I understand it's not for everyone. No worries. No worries, I followed. I like the writing of the game. I like sort of the world and the attitude of the game. And I like a lot of the concepts, but the moment to moment execution of the actual gameplay is just, I was often confused and irritated. Isn't that the same thing he just made? Oh my goodness. Alright, so that was a joke one, and now probably the hardest one. I'm glad they put that joke enemy in there. Okay, that was certainly not the hardest one. Oh, I should have... Oh, it ate the doctor. Oh, that's awesome. I thought that was going to be bad news for me. Alright, well, we saw further into that than we've ever seen. I super love Musashi. It's so fun, but I remember getting really lost when I had to do certain quests when I first played it. So close. We've got one more credit. Even if I game over, I'm still gonna try it at least another time. This is a bad scenario. I felt really trapped there. Yeah, that seemed like the... Yeah, no, I get you, Zinchan. That seemed like the final phase to me, too. I can't say for sure, but I mean, it ate the doctor. That's a pretty clear sign to me there's not a whole lot else going on. This is tough. This is tough because I think that a lot of this thing's movement patterns just lock me into unwinnable scenarios. I don't know... I'm gonna need to figure out how to deal with this. Stay away from the corners, I think, is step number one. Which is a shame, because hiding in the corner is one of the things I do best. No, why'd he stop moving? To slide for this guy. No. All right. Gonna have an apple slice. Gonna start again. It was actually a really good run. We made it up to the end of the stage before that, I think, on a single credit. No, I think I used one in the virtual reality room too. So it took 2 credits to get to that boss. Well, it was still okay. I'm sorry, is that Zazabee? I don't know what Zazabee is. I'm guessing a Pokemon? Or a palm tree atop a guy doing push-ups. That's what I see Tuesday. See a guy doing push-ups with a palm tree on his back. You'll get it next time. Thank you for the vote of confidence, Zinchon. Zazabee is a boss from Metroid Fusion. I've forgotten. Gotta head to bed, though, Zinchon says. A little past my bedtime. Good luck on the run, Frownie. Have fun, everyone. Thank you for the wheels, Zinchon. And a barrage of other things. Alright, we'll do all the redemptions. First, the Wheel of Scorchin. Medium habanero sauce. A little something before I go. Thank you for that, Zinchon. That's the wrong sauce. Medium habanero shouldn't be anything too difficult to handle. I think I mentioned before, but this bottle of hot habanero is running out, which means soon I'm going to have to replace it with a hotter sauce. I've got a couple other bottles of sauces. They're from the same Marie Sharp's brand. This is what the medium habanero, or the mild habanero sauce looks like, rather. But the other 3 that I have are all hotter than anything currently on the board. That's less mild than I thought. It's alright. It's alright. It's not really spicy, but it's more than I was expecting. I can't wait to see that. Yeah, we'll have to replace the hot habanero sauce, I think. I might have to replace it tomorrow, but by next week, there'll be a different sauce on the board. Same brand, just increased intensity. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That mild one could go well with a lot of stuff. If you want to eat something and still taste it, but have some heat. Don't let mild fool you, though. There's definitely some heat still there. Exciting times in Sauceville, Cow says. Boogie, 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 boogie. Brown Town, Sauceville. Some delicious pistachios. Thank you for those, of course. Oh, but to hydrate, I don't actually have a water bottle nearby. They're just out of reach, so let me grab a water. Just like the Tupperware, the water opened with such an aggressive pop. All my plastic containers are just screaming to be opened. Alright, here we go, my friends. They're all popping off tonight, Cal says. No! I was just about to say the best thing about our previous run was that I didn't lose any lives on stage 1. Excuse me. No! I lost another life. I anticipated the wrong attack. Very sad. That happened to me last time, too. I swear I'm jumping there. It's very hard to do a touch-and-go jump. I think I had a lot of help that time. This is not a run and gun game. This is a tiptoe and gun game. Contra Hardcore demands that you go very slowly everywhere you go. Oh no, I didn't look for the sugar cubes again. My attention span is much too short. They really aren't that life-changing. Well, still, it feels like I'm being rude, and I don't mean to. Good weapon for those. Bad weapon for the doors. Well, there's times you'll see them and think, what in the world is Cal's even thinking? Oh, that was the wrong move. I'm shocked that I didn't take damage there. That was a huge mistake. I never use bombs. Victory! Another weird thing about this game, the controls, like, for some of the menus you have to press start to make a selection. To advance the dialogue you have to press B, and to make a choice in the dialogue you have to press C. And it's exclusively those buttons. They don't double up anywhere. And it's just very weird because, like, usually you'd have one, like, confirm button that you'd use for all of those. And it's divided amongst three arbitrarily. I wonder if anyone's made a ROM hack of this that fixes the camera. It wouldn't do me any good, but I would like to know, just for the world, that it existed. Goombasaurus. The side of this robot's body looks like it has a D-pad on it. I don't know what it's doing. I had no idea what that move was. No! Oh look, if you stand too close to the door, it doesn't hit it. I could stand here all day and I'd never break it. I have to back away. Why? I wasn't facing that way. Why'd he turn that way? That's not how that slide should have worked. Right? Maybe I missed something, but I think I was facing the other direction. That was risky. My desire to get the fight over with quickly almost cost me very dearly there. Come on, how many more phases of this? It did not take this many phases last time. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at this game. It robbed me so badly. I was attacking the boss so much more efficiently, and it died so much more slowly. That is the height of unacceptability. This guy can't be the, You think the boss would have died more quickly from the embarrassment of me being so efficient against it of nothing else? Just really, ooh, that really annoys me. This can't be the last boss, by the way, because that other guy gets away. So that other guy has got to be a boss after this. Unless this particular story just leads to a bad ending, which I guess is a possibility, but I need to earn an extra life here quickly. Some of these enemies really can't take the heat. Oh, look. So watch this. Watch the cutscene here. Because, like, this boss comes out, and look, it picks up this doctor and eats him. So the doctor really is that tiny? Because I would have assumed he was a full-sized man, but he's like half the height of my character, who I don't think is particularly giant. But the plant picks... Like, I thought the doctor was in the background, but the plant picks him up, and the plant's on the same plane that I am, so... Something weird is going on there. I think he's just a very tiny doctor. Wouldn't be surprised if the werewolf were huge, but I mean... Well, yes, but the werewolf, I would imagine, has to be about the same size as all the other characters. And at least two of the characters seem to be just regular humans. I don't think the other two playable characters are giants, and they're also way bigger than this guy, I believe. Can you imagine the werewolf would be Chewbacca-sized? He does have a bandolier. Maybe one of these doctor's earlier experiments went wrong and it made him tiny. My sister was telling me about, she and her husband do, like, they do movie night together, like, I don't know, I guess once a week, or I don't know how often they do it. But she said that they've started a tradition where, for every one of their movie nights, they each pick one movie, but the criteria that they use to pick the movie is they draw a random Pictionary card, and whatever it reads on the card has to be their inspiration for the movies they pick. And so she said she picked two just in case, you know, he ends up picking the same thing as her. They want to make sure that there's still, she wants to make sure there's still two movies. And the word that they picked was brush. And she said she picked one movie about hair and another movie about Australian cowboys. I commended her multiple interpretation of the chosen word. Yeah, and Sparrow says, and you were like, yeah, I know a few of those. That's why I felt so motivated to share that on the stream. Cal says that's such a fun way to choose movies. Yeah, I like that idea. I was thinking, that's a lot of fun. On the one hand, I would want to steal it, but on the other hand, Jelly is even less familiar with movies than I am. Hello, Sarcodius. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. You're just in time. I just game overed. Dino Pulse Zeta, welcome in. The Juker, great to see you again, my friend. Thank you for coming along. The stream is hardcore. We attempt to be. I attempt to be. What we're finding out is that I've got a soft bubblegum center. Welcome in, my friends of Sarcodius. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the raid so much, my friend. I really appreciate you bringing your people by. We're gonna do our best to take care of them. But tell us what you were up to. What were you doing on your stream? Oh, I think I saw you were playing Super Monkey Ball. While we're chatting, my friends, use the time to give Sarconius a follow. He does tons of retro stuff, and he does retro achievements, and he is a master. He does challenges that just seem impossible to me. I've enjoyed watching him work on Castlevania Chronicles and Jackal recently, and some of those Jackal achievements are just bogus. There's no other way to look at them. Marcus 5400, welcome to the stream. Great game over. I kind of like the. I appreciate what they were going for with the sort of three-dimensional sea flying at us. It's a commendable effort, but I really like the look of the classic fire sea for Contra. I don't think that this is necessarily a tremendous improvement over that one, but I definitely appreciate the attempt at 3D. Although it does remind me of one of the Sonic games, the bonus game in Sonic 3, I think, with all the bumpers. Who are you playing as? I'm playing as the Wolfman, Fang. Just because I've never beaten this game yet. I've been working on it for a little while. Still yet to beat it. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm limiting myself. I'm only playing as the one character for my first playthrough, and I'm making all the same choices for the branching paths until I get to credits, so that I can basically so I can spend more time with the game and keep discovering things on multiple playthroughs. I don't want to just dive in and spoil everything at once. I want to still have new things to find, each time I go through it for a while. And so Fang it is. Although I did sort of accidentally discover that the different characters have different weapon sets, and I don't really like Fang's weapon set a whole lot. So, oh well. he's got like two great weapons and two not great weapons. They may be fantastic if you know how to use them, but I don't. So he's the speedrunner's choice too. Oh well, then of course naturally I would gravitate to him, since I'm so pro at everything I do. Uh, Rated Stark after Kyle's uh cruising stream. Now rating you after Sark's Super Monkey Ball stream. Well, I'm happy that you've come along. Thank you. Monkey Ball Deluxe. Are the challenges as devastating in that game as they were in Jackal Sark. Blue Sphere, Special Stages, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Yeah, I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Got to distinguish the difference between bonus stages and special stages in Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic Mania, because bonus stages and special stages are their own thing, with bonus stages not giving Chaos Emeralds where the special stages do. I bow to your wisdom, Dino Pulse. I'm a newbie at Sonic. I've played through um I think all the Genesis Sonics except the combined cart. I've done 1, 2, and 3, and I've done and Knuckles, but I haven't done them together yet. And I did 3D Blast, and that game is not a blast. There are 344 achievements. So it's going to take you 2 streams. You'll have them knocked out in 2 streams. I too rated Sark. I love me some Monkey Ball. I've never played Monkey Ball. It looks like it's either a lot of fun or incredibly frustrating. I don't know. I think of like Marble Madness when I look at it. Yes to both. A Sonic 3D Blast was easy for me to beat. Hats off to you, Marcus. You are better than I am. Sonic 3D Blast was easy up to a point, and then it became very frustrating, and then the final Robotnik was devastating. uh it was horrific. I beat him on my last life of my last credit, and I was praying I was not gonna have to restart that game. That one hurt me. That one hurt me. This almost looks like FM Town's Marty BIOS screen. I know the name, but I don't actually know the that's like a computer? Like a microcomputer? Sonic 3D Blast was easy, says my 8-year-old self, MK says. It is you would call it a console, okay. And I know I've heard the name, but I've never actually interacted with one. Welcome in, MK. You too are a better gamer than I am. You were a better gamer than me at 8 years old. So this is a boss I've never beaten this boss yet. It'll be huge progress if I'm able to clear this boss. It's like a bunch of little monsters and then one big one at the end. I've made it through the little monsters. I mean, I have to have if I know that. But the big monster I don't know yet how to fight yet. He's stomped on me every time I This is starting poorly. I can't afford to lose a life on the first guy. Hate to head out after so many new Raider friends join, but I've got to be heading to bed, Cal says. Thank you for being here, Cows. As always, appreciate your company and your mod work. I'm very fortunate to have you here, and I hope that you sleep well and have a great weekend, my friend. So if I'm able to talk and play at the same time, which I may not be able to do, I'll say one more time, thank you very much for coming to the stream, everybody. I appreciate you checking out what we do here. And I hope that you enjoy yourselves. I am Frownie, of course. I stream several nights a week. 11 p.m. is the general startup time, give or take, Central Time. We play for about 5 to 7 hours every night. I do retro stuff overwhelmingly. I prioritize extremely strictly blind first playthroughs. I prefer to try and beat a game without ever doing any research or having anything, you know, sort of explained or spoiled for me. The joke around here is that Frownie doesn't read the back of the game box because he considers it spoilers, and it's a joke, but it's also kind of true. I do challenge runs of games. I'm not nearly as talented as Sark, but I do like to try and pull off a challenge run of a game I really like sometimes. Kind of like brutally hard platformers. Contra, Castlevania, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I've done deathless runs through all of those. And occasionally have stacked additional challenges on top to make life even worse for me. And I have a tendency to play a lot of broken trash games. I like to play plug-and-play games. I like to do little mini marathons of licensed titles. Like, we played through, like, E.T., Scooby-Doo, Powerpuff Girls, Tasmanian Devil, 6 or 7 titles for each of those. They're all painful in their own unique ways. And I like to, as much as I can, I like to take them through to credits. Maybe even 100% them if they're really terrible. It's a laid-back stream. I like to think we strive for sort of a comfy, cozy environment. Most of what you see and hear out of me is gonna be pretty firmly in the family-friendly zone, and most of the chat leans that way. So you can relax and forget about the cares of the world and just enjoy watching me struggle my way through games that are way too hard for me. I seem to be alone in this, but I think this background doctor is not in the background and is very small. This animation looks very strange to me. That doctor looks very tiny as he gets picked up. Yuck. Unfortunately, that's about how this has been going for me. I can make it to that monster, but so far he's pretty much annihilated me in the first few seconds each time. But we'll get it. We'll get there. And if we don't, well, we don't have infinite continues, but I've got a lot of persistence and, you know, willingness to restart a game from scratch. I tend to like playing as Brownie as my go-to character. I don't know if that's the name of another character or a nickname for the werewolf. I don't know the characters' names. That's the robot. Someone else, I don't remember who, but someone else said that they like the robot as well. I haven't tried the robot yet. I've really only tried the werewolf. I accidentally selected the man one time. But I pretty quickly threw the life away because of my wanting to stick to one character policy. I really like the aesthetics of this game. Some of the boss fights are just really cool. It's got some interesting set pieces. There's a lot of things really going for this game, but there are a couple things that I kind of hate. One is in the run and gun sections. The camera is pretty bad. It's one of those where the screen doesn't scroll until you're more than halfway across the screen. So running into stuff is like you have to, it's not a run and gun. It's a tiptoe and gun. I don't like that. I don't like that. The screen should lock onto the character, you know, at the like 1/4 part, not more than 1/2 across the screen. It's pretty rough. I'm gonna die. Oh, why had I no faith in myself? I lived. I did literally nothing to contribute to it but get lucky, but I lived. No. And then I threw it away. So the run and gun parts are not as fun as they should be because of the camera. I don't like that. And the controls... there's a couple small choices they made about how the inputs read that irk me. And the game really... playing it with the 3-button controller... I really wish I had shoulder buttons. I really wish this were an SNES controller. Because some of the concessions for that are really, are really kind of irritating. They're really hard for me to get used to. I don't know if it would be better on a 6-button controller or not, but sadly I don't have one, so... I may never know. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to like working out like what all the characters can do. They did. I think that's cool. Like, they give you some branching paths and some different... and the characters are really different, so it gives the game potential for a lot of longevity. Well, I made the exact same mistake I made last time. I need to get to the other... I need to remember to go to the other side of the room. You can run and aim, or you can stand in place and aim. And the weird thing about that, like the sort of the biggest like place where like the 3 buttons becomes painful, is that the way that's accomplished is it's toggled on and off by tapping a second button while you're holding the first one. And that is I've never played a game that works like that, so it's something that's very awkward for me to get used to. Maybe it's, you know, maybe I could be the weird one. Like, you know, maybe if you spend a lot of time with it or you played other games like that, it makes more sense. And it's another face button. Like, the thing, like, that's why I say, like, I wish I had an SNES controller, because I would expect, you know, if there were a shoulder button, then I could use my finger to accomplish that instead of having to use the same thumb that's already occupied. He dropped a power-up? I don't think I've ever seen him drop a power-up. That's amazing. I like that little guy even more now. Once again, I'm on my last life. Devastating. Goodbye, Doctor. I love that the monster eats the Doctor. Oh, I can't destroy those. Oh no. Ah, that was bad. Hey, that's better than I've ever done. How did Battletoads go tonight? You don't want to know, Sark. I don't want to tell you. I'm letting you down. I'm still stuck at the Klinger Winger. I'm still stuck there. Um, I I felt like I was getting a little better at it for a while. I'm not confident in saying that, but I've had a couple runs where I made it real far. It has to be near the end of the level. There was one time I think I might have even beaten it, but there is this one part really far along with a real quick couple turns. Got me out of nowhere. Ah, it's so rough. I was offered a strategy. I was told that you know, I I broke. I've been on that level for weeks, so I sort of broke my no backseating policy and asked for advice. And I was told that it could be managed more easily if you spam the pause button at the, well, not really spam, but if you use the pause button every time you hit a corner to make your turns. But I can't bring myself to use that tip. Not yet, anyway. It feels a little bit like using the pause to cheese the Yellow Devil in Mega Man. It's just something it's a cheese that if I discovered it myself, I I would probably use it proudly, but being told about it feels like I won't be satisfied. If I beat it that way, I'm just gonna want to go back and beat it without the pause, so I might as well not even use it. The secret technique, pause buffering. I wish if it had occurred to me naturally, I would probably use it, but because I had to be told about it, my stubbornness won't let me. I've only used pause buffering on one thing, and that was the last boss of Dynamite Heady. I don't think I know that game. I mean, I'm all up for cheesing a boss sometimes, but for cheesing a game sometimes, but I kind of really only like to do it when it's a cheese I work out for myself. It's a Genesis platformer, pretty crazy in terms of difficulty. So I don't think I'm gonna make use of that technique, but I have made it a little further. I have made it further than I made it far enough to somewhat cure my despair. I still don't think I'm gonna be beating it anytime soon, but making it further has given me hope that maybe someday I will. Which was a hope that was fading far away. Wiley, welcome in. Great to have you here. I'm only choosing the one character because I picked this character when I first started it. I picked this character more or less randomly, and I only want to play through with one character at a time. This game seems to have a lot of different options for replay value, and I want to save discovering more about the game as I work through it on several playthroughs. So that's why I'm holding off. I just want to focus on one character at a time. This is a game I expect to live with for a while, so. I'm always picking the same character, and I'm always picking the same choices on the branching paths when I have to restart. No! Ah, I got stuck in place. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna whisper that in case Frownie considers playing it. Thank you for looking out for me, Subject Omega. I appreciate the anti-spoiler protection. What? Why did I die? What did I... Did I stand... What did I do wrong? I didn't think I stood up, but maybe I did. Alright. The boss is weak in the heart. I'm not doing anything because the boss is weak in the heart. And we're back to the beginning. This Contra game, it has like the radical meter dialed up to 11. Of course, there's a werewolf character. This game is like really over the top. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because of it. 10 out of 10. So I do read all the story segments the first time we encounter them, but I've been working on this game for a while, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna kind of click through them pretty quickly. The story, pretty much for every game I play, might as well just be, you know. One day the player character woke up and heard there were some bad guys off to the right. So he decided to walk in that direction. There's a reason for the over-the-topness. This team also worked on Castlevania Bloodlines and would later go on to form Treasure Games. Dynamite Heady, which someone mentioned earlier, was actually made by this team. Wow, everything is coming full circle tonight. I really like Castlevania Bloodlines. That's probably my favorite Genesis game. Keeping in mind, I've probably only played about 10 Genesis games. 10 to 15, somewhere in that area. I'm really new to the Genesis. But so far, I think, yeah, Castlevania Bloodlines is probably my favorite Genesis game. I really like that one. I even would say that I personally like Castlevania Bloodlines more than Castlevania 4. I know, it was nice knowing so many of you. I don't know if I would say I like this one more than Contra 3, though. I'm not really like a huge fan of this one or Contra 3 yet. Contra 3 has grown on me the more I've played it. I don't dislike these games. The thing is, I don't like them as much as the NES Contras. If I'd never played, you know, Contra or Super C, then I would probably love this and Contra 3. And, like, they'd probably be some of my favorites. But these suffer a little bit from me not liking them as much as the NES games. I think that happens a lot. I think I tend to gravitate more toward 8-bit than 16-bit anyway, so I haven't played all the NES Mega Mans and all the Mega Man X games, but you know, I would say like I like 8-bit Mega Man more than Mega Man X, so I think I just tend to lean that way. But the longer I've spent with Contra 3, I've liked it more and more. So, you know, if you check back in with me like 2 years from now, my opinion might be completely backward. Their signature's basically a lot of bosses, very over the top. Some wiggly thing at some point, like the Cyclops boss, and usually some jokey parts. I definitely like all the style. If there were just a few, if there were just one tweak to the camera and a few tweaks to the controls, I would probably really love this game. But it's got just a couple small things I have a hard time getting over. Bloodlines is on the Nintendo Switch Online, but you guys suggested to play them in order, so I'm gonna wait on that. I mean, I don't necessarily know, Subject Omega, that you need to go through them all in order. But I would just say starting with the NES one is probably a good move. Where you go from there. There's lots of ways you could go from there. Because, like, I would say Simon's Quest you could skip until later. I think it's a playable game, and everyone should give it a chance. But I don't necessarily think it needs to be the second Castlevania game you play. And I mean, my taste in Castlevania games are very different from other people's, so listening to my suggestions, I probably wouldn't recommend it. Because I'd probably tell you to go Castlevania 1, Castlevania 3, Castlevania Bloodlines, Castlevania 64. And I don't think anyone would agree with that. Probably gotta have Castlevania the Adventure in there, too. Going from NES Contra to Contra 3 and Hardcore can be a little overwhelming, to say the least. There's a Steam sale, so I might be able to find something on there. If the anniversary collections are on there, then yeah, you should have a lot of options. I haven't played every Castlevania game yet either. I haven't played most of the Metroid style ones. I'd like to play them. I'm less interested in them. I prefer the more straightforward classic platformer games, but even those I haven't played a handful of those. I'm kind of saving them for special occasions, I guess. It's kind of a weird thing when there's a game series like that that I really love, and there's ones I haven't finished or played. It's like, well, I don't necessarily want to play them all at once because every time I play a new one, I have one less to look forward to because, you know, a lot of these games, they just aren't making anymore. The Adventure Rebirth. No, I haven't played that one yet, Juker. Yeah, that's one of the ones I'm kind of saving. I was kind of thinking about doing Adventure Rebirth and Contra Rebirth around the same time. Because I haven't played either of them yet. So I was kind of thinking when I get to the point where I'm ready for, because I'm kind of playing the Contra games close to release order. So I thought maybe when I get to Contra Rebirth, I'll do it and an Adventure Rebirth together. I thought it could be fun to pair those up. I think the Contra one's called Contra Rebirth. It might have a different name, but the WiiWare one. Yeah, I think I've got both of those on my Wii already. I have a lot of WiiWare stuff that I haven't ever touched. I hate that they won't re-release these. Yeah, this game preservation. Game preservation is the worst. There's just so much that's not. And the thing is, like, all of these games are somewhere, but they just, like, people refuse to make them available to the public in any form, and boy, it's irritating. It's not like they've been destroyed. It's like they're being purposely hidden. Digital is the future, they said. I mean, you don't own anything you own digitally. Most of the stuff you own physically, you don't even own anymore. A physical copy doesn't mean a whole lot in the world of mandatory day one patches. I rant about that a lot. Remember when video games were complete when you bought them? With more complicated games, it's kind of a double-edged sword, though, right? Because either a video game releases and it's able to have updates, like nowadays, or it comes out and it's like, you know, like Mario Sunshine, it's broken forever. Go back to those times. I love that. I love that boss right there. I don't really like the last part with the panels. It's all right. It's silly. That's what I should have said. Reminds me of. No, that really reminds me of the Clockwork boss from Castlevania Bloodlines. That boss is like. In fact, I think they probably use some of the same sound effects because those bosses are both really silly. But and but I like the first part of that boss with the constellations. I really love the look of that boss. It's a lot of fun. The part with the tiles at the end is okay. It's goofy. I don't like the part where he turns into Tetris pieces and tries to land on you. But the idea of the tank and the chopper, that's all right. That's another kind of boss I like doing in Treasure games. It's kind of all in all their games in some way. The transforming, the goofy transforming boss. Ooh, I think I got really lucky not to get hit by that guy. I don't recall that in Wario World, unless I'm remembering incorrectly. Oh, they made Wario World? Wario World is a game that's like on my wish list. I hope I get it someday list. I've heard it's not necessarily the greatest game, but I've really enjoyed the Wario games that I've played so far, so I want to try and hunt them all down eventually. Developed by Treasure, published by Nintendo. Right on. That's a fitting name for a Wario developer. With a name like Treasure, I'd trust them to make a Wario game. Uh-oh, this is gonna be rough. Oh, that was easy. I thought that was gonna be real rough with him dancing so close to me. Oh, he hadn't done this attack in a while. We haven't seen this one at all tonight. Yeah, I mean, I don't, like, I play on original hardware almost all the time, and it's not really because I have anything against emulation. Certainly, you know, like, not in principle or anything like that. For a lot of the time, it's just for like, really, like, action, like, platforming games and stuff. I'm really attached to the particular feel you get with the old controllers and the old CRT television. It's sort of a combination of the... I can't really replicate the feel for the kinds of games that I like. You know, maybe if I had a super powerful PC, that wouldn't be a problem, but I don't. And I'm just kind of lucky that I just happen to have this stuff just by virtue of becoming interested in collecting very early on. So I tend to prioritize that. But if there's something that, you know, emulation, that I really have to play, and emulation's the only way to do it, you got to make it happen, right? But I do lean away from it, just for those other reasons. Virtual Boy Wario Land, I've heard, is really good, and I actually own it. But, you know, who wants to break out and play their Virtual Boy regularly? And of course, I couldn't stream from it. So if I were gonna play it now, I'd have to go through for an emulation route, because I'd only want to, you know, I'd only make the time to play it if I was gonna play it on the stream, probably. I'm willing to make an exception for Virtual Boy. In the case of Virtual Boy emulation, it means you can reasonably see the game and have a way to capture it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that for pretty much every Virtual Boy game, that's really the only way that's worthwhile to play it. I get out and set up the Virtual Boy as like a novelty, like maybe once a year, once every 2 years. There's always a phase 2 with the bosses. I want Nintendo to go really bold with the sequel to the Switch. I'm the only person on the planet, but I want the Nintendo's next console to be a dedicated VR machine, and I want them to call it the Virtual Boy 2. I'm the only person on the planet, I think, that would be happy with that decision. I don't want it to be terrible, you know. I want it to be a, you know, a decent console, but I want those two things to be true about it. That it's dedicated to VR and that it's called the Virtual Boy 2. Uh-oh. Other treasure games: Gunstar Heroes, Guardian Heroes, Sin and Punishment, McDonald's Treasureland Adventure, Mischief Makers, Alien Soldier, Bangayo, and Ikaruga. I've heard good things about a lot of those games. I haven't played any of them, but I've heard good things about almost everything on that list. If you like this and Castlevania Bloodlines, give them a try. Something good with me is I've played far too many games, so it's easy for me to recommend games. That's the kind of thing I need, because I've played far too little games. I went from basically the beginning of the GameCube, pretty much up until the Switch, without really playing hardly any games. Except for stuff mostly that I'd already played before. That's a long time to go with, you know, not playing a whole lot of games. Thank goodness. I was worried that that switch was going to get me killed. Multiple people have stopped asking, have you played this before? Because now they say, of course you have. Hmm. I want to be like that someday, Juker. I want to be like you when I grow up. Thanks. That was. Well, it was meant to be a compliment, playfully worded. I feel like a poser when I look at my wall of retro games, and there's so many of them I've never played. I mean, sometimes the situation is not escapable. And sometimes I just do badly. The good thing is, like, the slide eats those, I don't know, orbs. But frequently they're scattered so vertically that even if you wipe out the ones you slide through, there's still plenty left to rain on you at the end of your slide. So it doesn't help as much as I would like it to. Oh, that was so close. Oh, where am I? No high scores in this game? Oh, I'm amazed. I'm amazed I lived. Just stay away from me. I hadn't actually looked on the game over screen. I hadn't actually, I think, ever looked to see what the scores would be. I deserved that. I'm still sad that I deserved it, but I can't be upset. I did stand too close to the boss. I'm dead. Uh, this is a painful game. Don't want to see that. From the top. Death on the first level is always a bit disappointing. But not super unexpected. That first area is really hard. Hardcore. That first spot there reminds me of Contra 3 on hard difficulty. Which is something I have yet to be able to clear. I've beaten Contra 3 like, I don't know, a half dozen or so times on normal difficulty. But hard difficulty is mind-bending. It is wild. It is wild how fast everything moves. I don't know how I'm ever gonna train my brain to keep up with it. Because I would love to properly clear it and get the true ending, but it is outrageous. That first part feels like it, but it goes on for the whole level in Contra 3, and it does slow down on this one because it turns into, you know, spectacle and a lot of bosses, which is thankfully much more manageable. Contra 3 does kind of have a lot of bosses too, but I don't know what I was thinking. That was terrible. Terrible. Don't go over there. Ah! Everything I do is wrong. That bomb use was actually an accident, but it was a good accident. I almost never use the bombs when I play this because they're so inconvenient. There's no dedicated bomb button. You have to select it instead of your gun. And I just never feel like there's a good enough time. Like, cause the bomb is like something I think of like to use as like a Hail Mary when you're surrounded and it's your only hope of like clearing the enemies at the last minute. And there's no way to access it in that kind of situation. Oh no. You can't change your weapons while firing. I was trying to do that. That's why I started saying, oh no. And I tried to change my weapon while firing and instead changed, you know, I locked my character's movement. I really like the fire weapon. The fire weapon has had like the greatest progression across the Contra series because it's so incredibly bogus in the first Contra, and then it's pretty good in Super C, and then it's great in Contra 3. And it's pretty good in this one too. The fire is so good in Super C because, like, it fires a shot, and when it hits the wall, it breaks into 4 separate shots that travel a short distance. But the best thing about it is those 4 shots that break off can travel into walls. And there's a part near the end of Super C where you have a bunch of enemies coming down from the roof to get you, and it's in the same area where the roof is coming down, like, repeatedly to try and crush you. So, like, the roof itself protects those enemies from a lot of your shots from your other weapons. But if you got the fire, then you can actually take care of them while they're still up there in the wall, and it makes them a lot easier to deal with. don't really like that punch attack, but for a few situations, it's really useful. I was going to be quite upset if that arrow had actually hit me. Don't come this way, don't come this way! Goodness. Victory. That's a lot more smoothly than I tend to make it through there. I'm guessing these enemies aren't really worth any points, because if they were, then I would imagine you could just stand here forever and grind 1-ups, right? But surely they don't want you doing that, so these guys must not be worth anything. Hey, Flassy, welcome in. I hope you are well. I love your dancing emotes there. The one is so colorful and the other one is so smooth and fluid. Hopefully you're doing well. So far as what's up, I'm just I'm struggling with some Contra tonight. It's kind of crushing me. I keep getting to the same boss, but keep running out of lives and continues and having to restart. I feel confident that I'm eventually going to be able to do it, but the thing is, it might take until like I'm able to clear the rest of the game so fluidly that I arrive there with my weapons intact. My biggest problem right now is that I keep dying, and so I don't have any good weapons to fight the boss with. I figured out how to attack it, but its window of vulnerability is devastatingly narrow when all you have is the regular gun. No. Speaking of using the regular gun, I mean, I know this isn't the regular gun, but I just lost my spread. I risk using the fire? I think I'm going to. Well, that's a risk that didn't pay off. There's a phenomenon with Contra games that I've observed. A phenomenon where, like, when you're not very confident with them, you have this notion of like, oh, this weapon's good. I better save it. I better not use it in case I die. I don't want to lose it when I die, so I better not use it. And then, like, as you get more familiar and better at the game, which I clearly am not, then you start to think like, oh, this weapon's good. If I keep using this weapon, I'll never die. I want to switch. I want to change from that earlier guy to that later guy, and I can't make that switch yet with this game. I'm still very much in the mode of, is it worth the risk of losing this when I die? Some of the angles this laser comes out at are just so irritating. There's a lot of this fight where you don't have to press a single button. It just drags you along in between the phases. hate that boss. I hate that so much. It should have been so much faster with the fire, and it was so slow. It's taken forever. Oh my goodness. I do not believe that this boss has a set level of health. I believe this boss remains invincible until you make a certain amount of blunders. I cannot believe that it's possible to clear that boss without errors. It's all fake damage until you reach a certain error threshold. I refuse to hear otherwise. That's so irritating. Why did the laser turn around? It almost always travels all the way up to the top before doing that. I had every reason to expect it was going to. What a mean game. What a mean game this is. I'm going to count how many cycles this takes. So this is 1. Two. 3. 4. 5. 5. Six. 7. 8. Oh my goodness, this goes on forever. 9. I think my game is glitched. 10. 11. Thank you for the hydrate. I'll get to that as soon as I am able. Oh yeah, on 12, I lost count. That's evil. GG, dude. Gonna crash. Have a great day. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for the hydrate. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll be able to see you again sometime soon. Here's the best chance we've had for seeing something new. If I can keep this fire. That's why we weren't using the fire there. Well, now it doesn't matter. No! I didn't know how long its legs were. This is bad. This is all very bad. That was my best shot. No. If you pay very close attention, you'll know that I usually yell no before I die. Because I know it's coming, because because I'm stuck. Not usually, but often. I'm stuck in the wrong aiming mode. And I realize too late. Oh, that guy dropped that on purpose? He's not an enemy, he's a friend. Not only is he, like, bad at attacking us, he didn't even want to. He wanted to give us a power-up. I've been wiping him out this whole time. I did notice the one time he dropped it was, the time when I didn't get around to annihilating him instantly, but it took me quite a while to piece that together. Oh my goodness. What a fool I've been. We had a friend. We had a friend in the arena this whole time. I mean, I'm sure he still kills me if he runs into me. Let's not, go too wild here. Is this really what I have to do to try and position myself under him just right? Oh, a slide would get me there. But I don't understand how the slide works well enough. I have a feeling this is gonna kill me. Why don't I listen to me? Alright, well, we learned a couple valuable things. One, I can slide to get close to the heart, and two, don't kill our friends. Oh, while I'm thinking about this, just because we were talking about bloodlines before, the the channel points, they're called secret meats, right? Which is my go-to term for the wall chicken in Castlevania, and I do have a a secret meat in the fashion of the classic, Castlevania 1 and several other games, wall meat. But I intentionally instead went for the icon for the design of the mutton from Castlevania Bloodlines. While the Castlevania 1 wall chicken may be a more recognizable secret meat, I had to go with I had to go with my heart and go with the mutton from Bloodlines for the channel point. So if anyone's ever curious why it looks like that, and oh no, I killed my friend, and not the Castlevania 1 one, it's because of Bloodlines. That's alright, I don't need power-ups anyway. No. Victory! I cleared a new stage! Yes! It finally happened. I cleared a new stage. Ah. You can't run any further, Colonel Bahamut. A bit more time, and I would have created the ultimate bioweapon. I don't know if I'm accidentally canceling the dialogue, or if it's supposed to be flashing like that. Terrible news, the alien cell has broken free. It's running amok and threatening the entire headquarters. What? It was stupid to proceed without the doctor. Alright, hey, this is a new stage. Ooh. I probably won't live here I probably won't survive here very long. Okay, well, I wasn't ready for that. Bomb it is. That was scary, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it looked. No, I'd hate that weapon. That's the worst weapon. It robbed me of a life. Again. As it has so many times. Whoa! This is unmanageable. What in the world is going on? Everything is so much worse than the thing before. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I didn't know it had a stretchy arm, too. Oh, thank goodness. Whoa, oh, okay. I thought that was a walk-on-it platform, not a hang-from-it platform. Oh, these guys are infinite. Alright. Oh, no, they're not. Well, either way... Alright, it was... Well, it was nice to get to see some new stuff. It's very slow going, this game. That's got to be the final stage, though. All right, and we got those bosses. There's probably like cross that area, probably one more little boss, another area to cross, and then the big showdown, which is probably like a 4 or 5 stage monstrosity that'll phase monstrosity that'll take me the rest of my life to figure out how to clear. But I think we're gonna wrap it up here, my friends. I think we're gonna say good progress. That's a positive note to end on. I mean, I got immediately ruined every step I took, but at least it was ruined by new things every step. I figured out, I figured out that boss beforehand. I know how to beat it now. I've had a lot more practice at the areas leading up there. In fact, I think I got to that stage, the last one that we cleared. I think I got to that at least one time on a single credit. So we'll raid out to another channel. I'll see who's live and what they're doing. I'm gonna send us over to a chill stream. Looks like they're playing sort of a spooky game. Might go along. Looks like a newer game. I don't know anything about it, but it'd probably go along well with the horrors of Contra. So I should be back again tomorrow night, my friends. 11 p.m. Central Time is the target time for startup, give or take. Of course, I'll send out the usual notices in the Discord to dial that in a little bit more precisely if you're in there. If you're not using the Discord, you're welcome to join it. You just have to ask me or one of my mods for an invite through Whispers, and we'll happily send you an invite in return. But otherwise, around 11 p.m. Central Time is when to look for me. Good night, Frownie. It's been fun. See you tomorrow after my stream. We'll see you again, Angelus. Thank you again for the raid, my friend. But tomorrow night the plan is to do Battletoads at the start. Probably just one run through Battletoads. My first attempt of the night tends to seem to be my best anyway. So one run through Battletoads, and then the plan is to spend the majority of the night on Commodore 64 games. We're thinking about California games, Street Beat, and Beachhead are games that have been recommended to me. So if I can find copies of those and get them working, those are some of the things that might be on the table. There'd probably be at least another game or two in addition to those. I would expect Commodore 64 nights are more about sampling games than completing them. But we do take big, generous samples and spend a lot of time with each game. So we'll certainly take a generous bite out of everything that we look at. Sorry I'm delaying here because I'm kind of... not 100% sure where I'm going to send us. It occurred to me that there's a whole lot of people here, and it might be fun to raid a newer streamer. Someone kind of just starting out and building their community and give them a chance. And I see someone playing Castlevania 3, and so I actually think I'm going to send us in the direction of this streamer. But I gotta say, I don't know this person. I don't know their content. We may find something horrific on the other side, and that's on them, not on me. So I would say come along and give them a chance, because it looks like they are new to streaming. They've got a pretty small follow count. So at any rate, they're still building their community, and I'd be very happy. I think that a large number of people have come by to give them a chance. So if it's anything horrifying on the other side, then by all means bounce as soon as possible. That's what I'll do. But hopefully they'll be on their best behavior. They'll be really cool. We hope for the best, and give them a chance, and maybe even give them a follow. Help them make it to the that 50 follower threshold. But yeah. So tomorrow night, Commodore 64 Battletoads around 11 p.m. Thank you very much for being here. I really do appreciate you, my friends. Thank you, Sarconius, for the raid, for bringing in so many of your friends. Thank you, Zinshan, Yaden, Angelus, Vance Velez. I think that's we got a lot of raids. I'm a very lucky streamer to have so many of you bringing your people by, and so many of you sticking around for the fun. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'll get to see you again soon. Be well until then, my friends, but that is it. I'm all out of stream for tonight. We're going to head out. Fingers crossed, and let's go on an adventure.